Anxiety can be all-consuming, and its triggers can come from a variety of places, events, thoughts, and people. But regardless of its triggers, only one person can significantly ease your anxiety. And that one person is you. Hello there, this is Dee, and welcome to our series 101 Anxiety Tips, presented by Easing Anxiety. These tips are from a wide variety of disciplines, so some may work for you, and some may not. Please visit our website to see all our videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and now, let's take a look at today's tip. You know, people are different, and so is our anxiety, and what triggers it, how we deal with it, and its effects on our lives and those around us. And the tips, treatments, and tools we use to manage it vary equally so. But one thing is consistent in all of us. It's our anxiety. It doesn't belong to anyone else. We are the most affected by it, and the only person who can truly manage it. Taking responsibility for your anxiety is not the same as blaming yourself for your anxiety. The truth is, blame is irrelevant for what we're talking about today. Our unique anxiety, much like our personalities, evolves from a spanning landscape of both genetic and environmental factors. Recognizing trauma, getting professional help for OCD, phobias, abuse, learning where your anxiety and depression come from, are important steps to understanding it and to feeling better in the long run. Taking time to be introspective and understand why we feel as we do can be quite revealing, but it also comes with its own dangers. Some people can become trapped in the cycle of talk therapy and can spend a lifetime venting to a therapist without any real growth or improvement in their mood. You need to find what works for you. Understanding the traumas in our lives, and yes, every one of us has experienced trauma, is important. But we also need a good pair of sandals. Okay, I'll admit, I put that in there just to get your attention. You know, I love quotes. If you read my book, listened to the podcast, or visit our Instagram page, this won't be a surprise to you. During my withdrawal from anti-anxiety drugs, one quote stood out for me more than any other. It's from a Buddhist monk in the 8th century named Shantideva, and it goes something like this. Where is there enough leather to cover the surface of the earth? But just having leather on the soles of one's feet is the same as covering the whole earth. Okay, walking on the surface of the earth with bare feet can be treacherous. There are thorns, sharp rocks, molten lava, frozen tundra, spider snakes, and on and on. If we spent our lifetime trying to cover all these dangers with leather, we would fail and live a life in pure misery. But there's another option. With a little time and effort, we could cut the leather into a pattern and sew it into sandals, and then explore the world in all its grandeur at will. Yes, I'm talking about anxiety here. Was I really that obvious? Just like rocks, lava, spiders, and snakes, this world of ours is covered with triggers. Triggers which can cause just as much pain as sharp rocks, if not more so, to those of us who suffer from chronic anxiety. And those triggers are everywhere. Now, many of us spend much of our lives trying to reduce those triggers or trying to avoid them altogether. Attempting to change the world or stay isolated from the world so that it is safer for us to live in, It sounds like a good plan at first. But over time, we find that our anxiety has not improved, and the world around looks more hostile than ever before. The more we attempt to avoid perceived harm, the more sensitive we become to it, and the easier we are triggered. We can wind up building a protective bubble that grows smaller and smaller and smaller, until the slightest things, the most minor affliction, hardship, or personal slight, causes us distress, fear, even panic. And the same goes for changing the world to fit our needs. We may succeed here or there, but our need rarely subsides. And we wind up increasing our efforts and making more demands. But there's another way. Taking charge of our anxiety, finding tools to help us manage our anxiety, is like cutting leather for sandals. We are choosing to face the problem, find a fix for the problem, and continue on living our lives. One of the traits most common to those of us who suffer from anxiety is our endless need for control. We can become obsessed with control because we so desperately want to avoid any trigger that might kick off our anxiety. Unfortunately, that need for control only makes our anxiety worse. Control is an illusion. We rarely control anything in life. And the quest for control often causes more pain than the trigger we were trying to avoid in the first place. Responsibility is different than control. It's like saying, the buck stops here. This is my anxiety, and I am in charge of making things better. At times I will fail, at times I will succeed. But I will own those failures and successes, and I will continue on, step by step, to a better life. Yes, you can. Here's a quote from an article in mentalhelp.net. One of the driving forces behind OCD is an inflated sense of responsibility or hyper-responsibility. Those who suffer from hyper-responsibility believe they have more control over what happens in the world than they actually do. As you can see, it comes back to control again. Controlling the world around us to prevent triggers is rarely a realistic goal. But learning how to recognize our reactions and modifying them over time, that's something we can do to make a change for the better. Now, I cannot advise anyone on medication, nor suggest you ignore medical advice. The decision to take medication, not take medication, reduce medication, whatever, is between you and your doctor. But how you approach the relationship with your doctor can make a lot of difference. I took anti-anxiety medication clonazepam, brand name Klonopin, for 12 years as prescribed by my doctor. Now, while I never was warned of any complications from long-term use, I also never asked. For the first 11 of those 12 years, I never once looked up the drug I was taking to see if there might be a problem with it. I just trusted my doctor. Now, that doesn't mean I was at fault for my dependence on benzodiazepines. I didn't cause this, and I clearly wasn't warned. But still, I could have looked it up. Why didn't I look it up? No lesson in my life has come at a greater cost. But now I have learned a great lesson, and that is to work as a partner with my doctor. I have taken charge of my health. If a physician insists on one course of action which I don't feel comfortable with, I can get a second opinion, or even a third, until I find someone who listens to me, who I trust. who's willing to work with me towards a mutually desired goal, that of improving my overall physical and mental health. Again, I am not suggesting you ignore medical advice at all, nor delay in seeking it when needed. Instead, what I'm talking about here is becoming an active patient. Let me share with you a definition from the University of Rochester Medical Center. Active patients participate as partners in their healthcare with their healthcare providers. They don't make healthcare decisions on their own, but they're in charge of the process. They schedule appropriate visits to their healthcare providers, plan ahead to get the most out of those visits, learn about their conditions and medicines, and follow through on treatments and lifestyle changes they agree to with their healthcare providers. According to the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, people who are actively involved in their medical care stay healthier, recover quicker when they're ill, and live longer, healthier lives. You know, there's a recent shift in patient-doctor relationships in medicine. More and more, people are actively participating in making treatment decisions. Part of what is now called patient-centered healthcare or shared decision-making. This trend has been linked in some studies with improved overall care, reduced medical costs, and avoiding unnecessary surgeries and other procedures. Being an active patient, or active partner as I like to say, is never more important than in managing your anxiety. Nobody knows your anxiety like you do. Nobody knows what it's like to live inside your head with your fears and your obsessive thoughts. But unless you are a physician yourself, you also don't know the mechanics of your body, like a trained professional would. And that's where the partnership comes in. And medical support is just the beginning. The variety of support available to help you better manage your anxiety is endless. Here at Easing Anxiety, what we provide is just a tiny drop in an ocean of resources. And all you have to do is look. Books, articles, videos, classes, therapy, support groups. It's a big ocean with lots of choices. But that's where we come back again to you. You have to look. You have to be curious and investigate. You have to be willing to try something, fail, and try again. I can't tell you what will work for you. There is no one perfect solution for everyone. In fact, it's not going to be just one solution. It'll probably be a combination of many. I often talk about the anxiety tool belt on this channel. This is where you hang all those good anxiety tools, the ones you've tried and found helpful to you. Then you have them when they're needed. Now, you still need to keep them clean and sharp. You can't ignore them and expect them to be ready suddenly when you need them. But if you keep them maintained and available, they will help you get through the hard times. Well, that's our video on taking charge of your anxiety. I hope you enjoyed it. Take a look at the description for links used in this video, and please visit our website at easinganxiety.com for a complete list of our videos. Remember, taking charge of your anxiety in a nutshell is about freedom. You have the power to choose. Start small, but then continue on the path, and you will find a way to help ease your anxiety and enjoy life that much more. I'll see you next time.